Megan Clark adjusted her veil for the 10th time. The white dress, which had cost all her savings, shimmered under the lights of St. Joseph's Church. Her heart was pounding in her chest. 3:30 in the afternoon. Ethan Miller was late. The guests shifted restlessly in the pews. Some checked their phones, others whispered. Megan's stomach churned when she heard, "Is he really not coming?" Her maid of honor, Jessica, rushed to her side. "Meg, calm down, okay? It must be traffic." You know how Ethan is. But Megan had known Ethan for 5 years. He was never late for important commitments. And the wedding was the most important commitment of his life. 15 more minutes. Father Michael approached with a forced smile. "My child, how about we give the groom a call?" Megan picked up her phone with trembling hands. 1, 2, 3 calls. Voicemail. The church doors opened. Everyone turned their heads. Megan sighed in relief. Ethan appeared at the entrance. But he wasn't dressed like a groom. A blue dress shirt, jeans, messy hair. Megan walked toward him confused. "Ethan, what's wrong? Where's your tux?" He looked at her with a strange expression. Something in his eyes made her stop in her tracks. "Megan, I need to talk to you in front of everyone." "What do you mean?" "Honey, we're getting married. The priest is waiting." Ethan took a deep breath and spoke loudly. "I can't marry you, Megan." Silence. Megan felt a punch to the gut. "What?" "I fell in love with someone else, and that person is Isabella." Megan blinked several times. "Isabella? My sister?" "Yeah. Over the last few months we got closer and it just happened. I didn't plan it, Megan. But I can't pretend I love you when I'm actually in love with her." The guests pulled out their phones. Megan could hear the sound of videos being recorded. Her humiliation was being filmed. "Ethan, stop it! Megan, look at you! Look at her!" It was obvious this was going to happen. Megan looked to the back of the church. Isabella in the last pew. 2 years younger, 50 pounds lighter, with blonde hair that always turned heads. Isabella was crying, but she didn't look surprised. "How long have you two been together?" 3 months. Her legs went weak. 3 months. While she was picking out flowers and tasting cakes, her fiancé was cheating on her with her own sister. "I'm sorry, Megan, it's better this way." Ethan walked over to Isabella. He took her hand, and they left together under the guests' stares. Megan stood frozen in the middle of the aisle in her wedding dress as cell phones recorded. She ran for the restroom, down a side hall, and heard her mother talking to an aunt. "I always knew Ethan would end up with Isabella anyway." Megan froze behind the door. Her mother's words echoed in her head like a knife. She had always known Isabella was the favorite, but hearing it on her wedding day was too much. She waited a few minutes before leaving. The church was still full, but now everyone was talking in groups. Some were laughing. Her mother, Susan, came up to her, a mix of pity and irritation on her face. "Megan, honey, you need to accept it. Ethan made the right choice." "Zizat, what do you mean, the right choice, Mom?" "Look, I didn't want to say this today, but everyone always knew Isabella had a better chance of succeeding. She's prettier, smarter." Megan looked over at her father, who was talking with her uncles. He was making wide gestures as if explaining something. "Dad?" David turned with a sigh. "Sit here, Megan." He led her to an empty pew. "Listen, your mother and I always tried to protect you, but the truth is, Isabella has always been special. She's been turning heads since she was little, and you've always been more reserved. You're talking as if I'm a problem. It's not that. But now that Ethan has chosen Isabella, we don't have to pretend anymore. Everyone knows which daughter has a future." Megan felt like she was in a nightmare. "You're siding with Ethan. He cheated on me." Her mother sighed. "Stop being so dramatic, Megan. Ethan was honest. He could have married you and cheated on you later." "Mom, I was in my wedding dress." "And that's the problem. You always aim too high. Ethan is handsome, has a good job. It was only a matter of time before he realized he could do better." The guests started to approach, some to congratulate her on dodging a bullet, others asking if she was okay. Most of them just wanted to record. Her cousin Jessica ran up to her. "Meg, have you seen this? There's already a video on Instagram. Just a jilted bride. Over 1,000 views already." Megan grabbed her phone. There she was, standing at the altar while Ethan announced he wasn't getting married, posted by a distant cousin. The caption read, "Poor Megan, but it was kind of obvious, right? Her sister was always way prettier." The comments were worse. "Wow, what a difference between the two. Ethan did the right thing. How embarrassing, poor thing." Megan closed her phone. Her family was talking normally, as if nothing had happened. A few uncles were already laughing at one of her dad's jokes. "Guys, can you at least pretend to be worried about me?" Her mother turned around. "Stop playing the victim. You're 28 years old. That's life. Ethan made his choice, and that's that. So now what? You go home, get some rest, and tomorrow you can figure out what to do with your life." "Well, at least I can go home." Her parents glanced at each other. "Megan," her father said slowly, "it would be better if you found your own place." "What do you mean?" "Honey, you've been living with us for 2 years. Now that you're not getting married, it doesn't make sense for you to stay. We're going to need the room." "Are you kicking me out?" "We're not kicking you out. It's time for you to take charge of your own life. You have a job you can manage." Her mother added, "And it would be awkward for you to be living there when Isabella brings Ethan over for dinner." Megan looked at them both, at her uncles who were still chatting, at the guests who were recording, and knew her life was over. She stood up, grabbed the hem of her dress, and headed for the exit. Outside, Isabella and Ethan were talking with friends. When she saw Megan, Isabella pulled away from the hug. "Meg, I need to talk to you." "There's nothing to talk about." "Yes, there is. I didn't plan this. For 3 months, right? Meg, you know I've always been more popular. It was just a matter of time." Megan looked at her sister as if she were seeing a monster. "You say that like it's normal. It's not my fault I'm more attractive. You've always known that." Ethan stepped closer. "Isabella's right. It's no one's fault. It's just nature." Megan took off her ring and threw it on the ground. "You two deserve each other." She got into the rental car and drove home. Her things were already packed up in the garage. Her phone wouldn't stop. Calls, texts, notifications. The video was going viral. Monday came with a call from her boss at 7 in the morning. "Megan, I need to speak with you. Come to the office." Mr. Roberts' voice sounded more serious than usual. "Did something happen? We should talk in person." Megan got dressed and went to the office, where she had worked for 4 years. She had always been an exemplary employee. Mr. Roberts was in his office, the door closed, shuffling through papers without looking at her. "Have a seat, Megan. You know I've always respected you. Competent, dedicated, never caused any trouble." "Thank you. But I'm going to have to let you go." The floor dropped out from under her feet. "Did I do something wrong?" "It's not that. It's just that the video from your wedding went viral. My clients are talking about it. Some have sent messages asking if you still work here." "And what's the problem?" "Our company has a serious image to maintain. Our clients are conservative, traditional business people. They don't want to be associated with a scandal." "Scandal? I was cheated on. I'm the victim. I understand. But you've become a joke on the internet. There are memes of your face on WhatsApp. It's not good for our image." Megan couldn't believe it. "You're firing me because my fiancé cheated on me?" "It's not personal, Megan. It's just business." He slid an envelope over. "Your severance. I'm giving you an extra month's pay, even though I don't have to. I need this job. I have nowhere else to go. I'm sorry." On the street, she called her best friend. "Ashley, can you pick me up? I got fired. About that, I need to tell you something." "What?" "I can't be seen with you anymore." "What do you mean?" "My boyfriend saw the videos. He said, if I keep hanging out with you, people will associate my image with yours." I can't take that risk. Megan sat down on the sidewalk. We've been friends for 10 years. I know, but this will blow over. We'll talk in a few months. Call ended. She called 3 more friends. 2 didn't answer. The third was blunt. Honey, it's best if we give it some space right now. You've become a meme. It's not good for anyone. Megan went to the cheapest hotel she could find. 3 nights. She watched the videos that were still circulating. More than 50 on TikTok, Instagram and YouTube. Bride jilted by her own sister. The most awkward moment ever caught on camera when reality hits. A week later, the severance money was almost gone. She applied for jobs at 8 companies. At everyone, when she said her name, the HR person would give her a strange look. Megan Clark, the girl from the video? We'll review your application and get in touch. No one ever called back. Day 10, no money, no job, no family, no friends. She sold some clothes to pay for 2 more nights, but the money ran out quickly. She spent the night at the Greyhound station. In the morning, she went to Central Square and sat on a bench, watching people pass by. Everyone had a place to go, a life, a routine. She had nothing. At 5 in the afternoon, it started to rain. Without an umbrella, she stood under a tree, soaked, watching the traffic. The thought came slowly. It would be easier if I just died. She tried to push the idea away, but as the hours passed, it grew stronger. No one will miss me. My family abandoned me. I'm a joke to the whole country. What's the point of going on? By the time the rain stopped, it was already night. She walked aimlessly. She passed the church, her parents' house, the office. Everything she had built in 28 years had vanished in a week. She reached the Riverview Bridge, over 100 feet to the water below. She leaned on the railing and looked down. If I jump, the pain will stop. She climbed onto the railing, standing up and gripping it with her hands. The wind whipped through her hair. Down below, the city lights reflected on the dark water. She closed her eyes and let go with one hand. Hey, wait! Megan turned, still on the railing. A tall man was running toward her. He was in his early 30s, wearing workout clothes and carrying a gym bag. Ma'am, for God's sake, get down from there. Stay out of this. Leave me alone. He approached slowly. Listen, I don't know what your problem is, but jumping isn't going to solve it. You don't know anything about me. That's true, but I know that whatever is happening in your life has a solution, except for death. Megan looked at him. A kind face, dark eyes, a sincere expression. There was no pity, just concern. You don't understand. My life is over. Mine was over once, too. And I'm still here. Megan hesitated. What do you mean, it was over? Come down from there first, and I'll tell you, please. She looked at the dark water, then at the man. Something in his voice made her change her mind. She climbed down and leaned against the wall. My name is Leo. And you? Megan. Have you eaten anything today? Megan paused to think. She couldn't remember her last full meal. No. Come with me. There's a diner right there. We can talk. I don't have any money. I'll pay. She didn't know why, but she decided to trust him. They walked in silence. Leo ordered a sandwich, fries, and a soda. Now tell me what brought you to that bridge. Megan looked at him. For the first time in 2 weeks, she felt like she could speak without being judged. Have you seen the videos of the bride left at the altar? Leo's expression showed a flash of recognition. The ones that are going around. That's me. Megan Clark, the idiot who got dumped for her own sister. Wow. Megan told him everything. Ethan Miller, Isabella Clark, her family, getting fired, her friends, the viral videos. By the time she finished, she was crying. Now I'm a joke to the whole country. Everyone's comparing me and Isabella, saying she's prettier, that Ethan made the right choice. Leo Martinez shook his head. Can I tell you my story? Sure. 5 years ago, I weighed over 300 pounds, like clinically obese. I worked in IT, made good money, and was engaged to Tiffany. Megan stopped crying. 2 weeks before the wedding, she broke up with me. You know why? She fell in love with my best friend, the guy who was supposed to be my best man. Seriously? She was blunt, said she couldn't imagine being married to a fat guy, that she deserved someone better. Megan looked at Leo. Tall, muscular, the body of someone who's been working out for years. But you're in great shape. I am now. Back then I was obese, depressed, with no self-esteem. After she broke up with me, I fell into a depression. 6 months locked up at home, eating junk food. And then, one day I woke up and decided, either I change my life or I die. I started working out, changed my diet, studied nutrition, and became a personal trainer. Wow. Megan, I look at you and see the same pain I felt, but I also see potential. Potential for what? To transform yourself. To show all those people who humiliated you that they were wrong. To become the best version of yourself. Megan wiped away her tears. I don't have any money. I don't have a place to live. Listen to my offer. Leo leaned across the table. I have a small gym in the next town over. It's simple, but it has everything. I live in an apartment above it. And? Come with me. I'll give you a place to stay, teach you how to work out, help you with your diet. In return, you become my success story. I'll document your transformation, use it on social media to promote my work. Megan looked at him suspiciously. Why would you do that for me? Because I've been where you are, and because I believe you can transform into someone who will leave those people with their jaws on the floor. How long? 2 years. I guarantee your life will be completely different. Silence, Megan thought. And what if it doesn't work? It will. But if it doesn't, at least you tried. It's better than jumping. Megan smiled for the first time in 2 weeks. When do we start? Now, let's get your things and leave today. Leo paid the bill, and they left the 24/7 diner. Megan took one last look at the Riverview Bridge, where she had almost jumped, took a deep breath, and got in the car with him. As they left Oakwood behind, she couldn't imagine that in 2 months her family would receive a mysterious letter. On a Tuesday morning, Susan found the envelope with no return address on her doorstep. Inside, a single sentence written by hand. You're all going to regret this. She showed it to her husband. Do you think it's from Megan? It can't be. Megan doesn't even have the guts to kill a cockroach. They didn't know that Megan wasn't the same person who had left that church humiliated, and that she was just getting started. Megan woke up to Leo gently shaking her. Her phone read 5 in the morning. Come on, sleepyhead. First official day of training. She opened her eyes, and it took her a moment to remember where she was. The small apartment above the gym had become her home a week ago. A twin bed, a wardrobe, a small table. Simple, but cozy. 5 in the morning? Seriously? The gym opens at 6. You're going to train before the other clients get here. Why? Leo hesitated for a second. Because, well, you're still a little fragile, and I don't want anyone seeing you cry on your first day. Megan slowly got up. Just thinking about exercise made her body ache. Leo was dressed like a personal trainer with a clipboard in his hand. First thing, we're going to weigh you. They went down to the gym. It was small, but it had everything. Treadmills, bikes, weights, a big mirror on the wall. Get on the scale. Megan looked at the device like it was an enemy. Leo, I haven't weighed myself in months. I need to know our starting point. No judgment, just data. She stepped on. The needle stopped at 196 pounds. See? It's not that bad. I've trained people who weighed a lot more. But I've always been thin. Before all this, I weighed 143. And you'll get back there. But for now, Leo jotted everything down on his clipboard. Look, you're not going to lose the weight in a week, not even in a month. This is a long-term process. How long? To get to your goal weight? About 8-10 months. To completely transform yourself? 2 years. Megan made a face. 2 years feels like an eternity. Leo pointed to a photo on the wall, an obese man next to a muscular one. That's me, before and after. It took 3 years. Megan looked on, impressed. It was hard to believe they were the same person. Wow, you were pretty fat. You can say it. I was really fat. He laughed, but Megan could tell it still hurt to talk about it. Let's start slow. 15 minutes on the treadmill, just walking. The first 5 minutes were fine. At 10, Megan was already out of breath. At 15, she was sweating heavily. Stop, that's enough for today. Already? Just 15 minutes? Megan, your body isn't used to it. If you push it too hard on the first day, you won't even be able to get out of bed tomorrow. During the walk, Megan noticed Leo looking at her with a thoughtful expression. It wasn't pity, but a special kind of attention. Can I ask you something? Of course. Why are you doing this for me? I mean, really? Leo stopped walking and looked at her. Because I know exactly how you feel. And because... He hesitated. Because I think you deserve a second chance. What if I can't do it? You'll do it, but it's going to be hard. Very hard. The first month was truly hell. Megan woke up sore every day. She cried during her workouts. She wanted to give up with every exercise. I can't take it anymore, Leo. Yes, you can. Just 5 more minutes. I can't. Megan, remember why you're here. Because I'm an idiot who got cheated on. No, because you decided not to give up on yourself. That line always worked. Megan would find the strength and keep going. Her diet was another battle. Leo prepared a meal plan. Lean proteins, whole carbs, vegetables. No sugar, no fried foods. Can I at least have 1 brownie? No. Not even on Sunday? Megan, do you want results or do you want brownies? Both. Leo laughed. Pick one. So at the end of the first month, Megan stepped on the scale. 7 pounds down. Only 7 pounds, a whole month for this. Megan, you lost fat and gained muscle. Look in the mirror. She looked. It really was a little firmer, but she still felt far from ideal. Leo, is this really going to work? It will, but you need to trust the process. And me. It was that night that Megan had her first real crisis. She was rummaging around in the kitchen when she found a package of cookies in the back of the cupboard. She'd forgotten she'd bought them before the diet. She stared at the package for 10 minutes. Just one won't make a difference. She opened it and ate one, then 2. By the time she realized it, she had eaten half the package. She heard footsteps on the stairs. Leo was coming up. She tried to hide the package, but it was too late. Megan, what are you doing? She was sitting on the kitchen floor with the open package of cookies in her lap, crumbs on her mouth, a guilty look on her face. I just had a few. Leo wasn't angry, just disappointed, which was worse. How many? About 5. Megan? Okay, it was like 10, maybe 12. He sat on the floor next to her. Why did you do it? Because I've been craving something sweet for weeks. And because I'm tired of everything being so hard. Leo took the package and looked at it. Do you know what's going to happen now? Are you going to lecture me? No, you're going to train for an extra hour tomorrow. An extra hour? And you're going to learn that every choice has consequences. Megan pouted. You're not a personal trainer, you're a dictator. I'm a personal trainer who cares. He stood up and threw the package in the trash. Come here, I want to show you something. They went to the computer. Leo opened a folder with client photos. This is Tiffany. When she started, she weighed 210 pounds. The photo showed a very overweight woman with a sad expression. And this is her today. The second photo was of the same woman, but completely transformed, slim, smiling, radiant. Wow, what a difference. It took 1.5 years. There were days she cried, days she ate a whole package of cookies and was too ashamed to come train. And how did she do it? She didn't give up. Simple as that. Megan looked at more photos, men and women, before and after, impressive transformations. They all went through what you're going through, the hunger, the exhaustion, the urge to quit. What if I'm the only one who can't do it? Leo looked at her warmly. Megan, you jumped off a bridge. If you had the courage for that, you have the courage for anything. In the second month, things started to get better. Megan was waking up at 5 almost without an alarm. Her body was adapting. Today you're going to run for 20 minutes straight. Impossible. My max is 15 and I feel like I'm dying. Wanna bet? Bet what? If you do it, I'll make a special dinner tonight. If you don't, you're on dish duty for a week. Deal. Megan got on the treadmill determined. 10 minutes went by quickly. At 15 she was tired but kept going. At 20, she was still running. I did it! I won the bet! Leo was smiling with pride. Congratulations. Your fitness has really improved. And what's for the special dinner? Grilled chicken with sweet potato. That's a special dinner. It is when you're on a diet. Megan laughed. She'd been laughing more lately. Leo had that effect on her. By the end of the second month, another 5 pounds lost. In the third, 7 more. By the fourth month, Megan had lost 20 pounds. Now I'm really seeing a difference in the mirror. And your clothes. I have to wear a belt with everything. My favorite pair of pants is falling off. It's time to buy new clothes. With what money? I'm living off your charity. Leo got serious. Megan, first of all, this isn't charity, it's a partnership. Second, it's time for you to start making money. How? We're going to create a social media profile. You're going to share your journey. Megan got nervous. Leo, I don't want to be on the internet. What if someone recognizes me? No one will. You look completely different. It was true. Her face was thinner, her body more defined. Even her posture had changed. Let's do a test. I'm going to take your picture and you tell me if you can recognize yourself. They went to the brightest corner of the gym. Leo positioned his phone. Turn a little to the side. That's it. Now, lift your chin. I feel ridiculous. All influencers feel ridiculous at the beginning. After several photos, Leo chose the best one. Look at this one. Megan looked and was impressed. Wow, is that me? It's you, the new you. They created an Instagram profile. My Second Chance. I like the name. That's what you're getting, a second chance. The first photo was posted, 4 months into the journey, the beginning of a new life. And now we wait. The first day, 15 likes, the second 30, by the end of the week, 200. See, people relate. But they don't know my story. Yes, they do. Everyone who's trying to change their life has been through rejection. Megan started posting 1 photo a week, always showing progress, always with motivational captions. Her followers grew slowly. 500, 1,000, 2,000. Leo, people are sending messages asking about my diet. Answer them. Teach them what you've learned. Megan started answering messages, giving tips and motivating other people. You know what the best part is? I'm helping people I don't even know. Oh, how do you feel? Useful for the first time in a long time. By the 5th month, Megan weighed 168 pounds, 29 pounds less. I want to celebrate. How? By buying new clothes. At the mall, Megan tried on a pair of size 12 pants. They fit perfectly. I used to wear a size 16. How do you feel? Different, more confident. Leaving the store, Megan saw an acquaintance from her old town. Her cousin, who had been a bridesmaid, Jessica. Jessica walked right past them without recognizing Megan. She didn't see me, or she saw you and didn't recognize you. Megan preferred to believe the second option. It was during this time that she started to notice Leo Martinez looking at her differently. It wasn't just the attentive personal trainer anymore. It was something more affectionate. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you have a girlfriend?" Leo blushed. "No. Why?" "Just curious." But it wasn't just curiosity. Megan was starting to feel something for him. Gratitude had turned into affection. Affection was turning into something else. The My Second Chance profile hit 5,000 followers. "It's time to monetize." "How?" "Brand partnerships. You already have an audience." That's when Leo's phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello?" "Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm looking for a friend of mine, Megan Clark. I heard she might be at your gym." Leo looked at Megan and gestured for her to be quiet. "I don't know anyone by that name." "Are you sure? She's a young woman who went through a very embarrassing situation recently. I don't have any clients matching that description. Good afternoon." He hung up. Megan was pale. "It was Ashley, my ex-best friend." "How did she find out you're here?" "I don't know, but if she's looking, others might be too." "Calm down. If someone knew for sure where you were, they would have shown up here by now." Megan agreed, but she was paranoid for the next few days. She kept looking out the window, thinking someone was watching. "Relax. You look completely different. Even I sometimes forget what you used to look like." It was true. Megan wasn't the same person she was 6 months ago, and not just physically. The first partnership offer came when the profile hit 8,000 followers. A supplement brand wanted Megan to promote their protein powder. "They're offering $500 for one post, $500 for one Instagram post. That's how the influencer market works." Megan stared at the offer in disbelief. "Leo, I've never made $500 in a single day in my life." "And that's just the first one. More will come." Megan made the post promoting the protein she actually used. It was easy to recommend something that worked. "Hey everyone, this protein has been a lifesaver for me these past few months. Chocolate flavor, it dissolves really well, and it helps me hit my daily protein goal." The post got 1,000 likes and dozens of positive comments. "Oh my God, people trust me." "They trust you because you're authentic." More offers came in. Fitness apparel, sneakers, workout apps. Within 2 months, Megan was making $2,000 a month just from partnerships. "I never imagined I could make money like this." "And you deserve every penny." It was during this time that the relationship between Megan and Leo definitively changed. They spent all day together, talked late into the night, and laughed a lot. "Can I tell you something?" "Yeah." "There are days I completely forget about Ethan." "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" "Good. It means I'm really moving on." They were sitting on the apartment sofa after their workout, just like they did every night. "Megan, can I be honest with you?" "Always." "You look beautiful." Megan blushed. "Thank you. It's not just physical. You're radiant, confident. You're a different person." "Thanks to you." "No, thanks to you. I just gave you the tools." There was a different kind of silence. Megan noticed that Leo was looking at her in a way that made her heart race. "Leo, I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you uncomfortable." "You don't make me uncomfortable." "No?" "No. Actually," Megan took a deep breath. "Actually, I've been feeling something different too." Leo smiled. "Really? Really? But I'm scared." "Scared of what?" "Of ruining our partnership, our friendship." "Megan, our friendship is strong enough to handle anything." They looked at each other for a moment. Then Leo slowly moved closer and asked, "Can I kiss you?" Megan didn't answer. She just moved closer too. The kiss was gentle, careful, as if they were both afraid of breaking something precious. When they pulled apart, Megan was smiling. "How long have you wanted to do that?" "A few months. And you?" "A few weeks. Just a few weeks? Okay, a few months too. They laughed together. And now? Now we take it slow. No rush. The next day, Megan woke up feeling different, lighter, happier. The profile was growing quickly, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 followers. Leo, how is this growing so fast? Your content is good, and you reply to everyone. People like to feel seen. Megan had officially become a micro-influencer. She was making $3,000 a month just from partnerships. I'm rich. You're independent. That's different. That's when she received a notification that made her freeze. Ethan Miller 91 started following you. Ethan, her ex-fiancé, had found her profile. Leo, look at this. He read the notification. He found you. How? I don't know, but look at his profile. Megan stalked Ethan. In his recent photos, he was always alone. He looked dejected, without his old spark. He's not with Isabella anymore. Doesn't look like it. Funny. I don't feel anything. Not anger, not satisfaction. That's maturity. Ethan sent a message. Hi, your profile is very inspiring. What's your name? Megan showed Leo. He doesn't know it's you. What do I do? Answer like why my second chance would, without giving any personal information. Megan typed, Hi. Thanks. I'd prefer to remain private for now. Ethan, I get it. What city do you live in? Maybe we could work out together sometime. He's trying to hit on me. Ironic, isn't it? He's hitting on the woman he left at the altar. Megan decided not to reply, but she kept an eye on his and Isabella's profiles. It was obvious they had broken up. Isabella was posting melancholy photos, and Ethan looked depressed. How do you feel seeing this? Relieved, like life had righted its own wrongs. And now, what do you want to do? Megan thought for a moment. I want to get on with my life, but... Part of me wants them to know how well I'm doing. You want revenge? Not exactly. I want to show them they made a mistake. Leo understood. When you feel ready, we'll go back to your town. Ready for what? To get some closure. Megan smiled. I'm not ready yet, but I think I'm getting there. It was that night they received a call that would change everything. The phone rang during dinner. Leo answered without looking at the number. Hello? Hi, can I speak to Megan? Megan froze. It was a female voice she recognized. Who's calling? Julia Thompson. I was a classmate of Megan's in college. Leo looked at Megan, who motioned for him to continue the conversation. Megan's not here. Look, I know she's there. I recognized her voice in the Instagram videos. Megan closed her eyes. She'd been found after 8 months in hiding. Listen, Julia. What do you want? I want to talk to her. It's no big deal. I just want to congratulate her on the transformation. Leo looked at Megan, who shook her head. She doesn't want to talk right now. Please, it's important. Important how? Julia hesitated. There are some things happening in town that she needs to know about. Megan motioned for Leo to hand her the phone. Hello, Julia. Megan, I knew it was you. What an incredible transformation. Thanks. What do you want? First, I want to apologize for what everyone did to you at the wedding. Megan wasn't expecting that. Okay. Second, I want to tell you about some things that are happening here. What things? Ethan's a wreck, Megan. He lost his job 3 months ago. He's living with his mom and he's drowning in debt. And Isabella? She broke up with him, found out he owed money all over town, and dumped him. Megan processed the information. And my family? That's the thing. Your parents are struggling. They made some bad investments, lost money. They had to sell the car. Seriously. And there's more. Isabella lost almost all her followers after she broke up with Ethan. She's working at a store now. Megan was silent. It was a lot of information at once. Julia, why did you tell me this? Because a lot of people here are ashamed, Megan. After you disappeared, people started to reflect on how they treated you. Ashamed. Yeah. There are people who want to apologize, but they don't know how to find you. Megan looked at Leo, who was following the conversation. And how did you find me? Your voice, in the videos. I've always had a good memory for voices. Who else knows? Just me for now. But Megan... What? Isabella is getting married again. To a guy she met at work. The wedding is in 2 months. Megan felt something strange in her chest. It wasn't jealousy or anger. It was opportunity. Julia, thanks for letting me know. You're welcome. Megan? Yeah? You look beautiful. Really? When she hung up, Leo looked at her. How are you feeling? Confused. It's a lot to take in. What do you want to do with this information? Megan looked thoughtful. Leo, can I ask you a question? Sure. If you could go back and show Tiffany how you turned out, would you? I've thought about it a few times. And what would your answer be? Today? I wouldn't, because she's not part of my life anymore. And what if someone you love was being humiliated the same way you were? Leo understood where she was going with this. That would be different. That's how I feel. It's not about Ethan or Isabella. It's about proving to myself that I survived. So what are you thinking? Megan took a deep breath. I'm thinking maybe it's time to pay a visit to my sister's wedding. Leo smiled. As the girlfriend of a successful personal trainer? As the girlfriend of a successful personal trainer. They kissed. When's the wedding? Next month. Then we have 1 month to make you even more beautiful. Impossible. Nothing's impossible, Megan. You've already proven that. Megan looked in the mirror. The woman she saw there had nothing to do with the one who almost jumped off a bridge a year ago. You know what? What? I'm curious to see the look on their faces when they see me. Just curious? Megan smiled in a way Leo had never seen before. Okay, fine. I can't wait to see the look on their faces. Now you're talking. That's the Megan I know. They spent the rest of the night planning the return. It wouldn't be just a visit. It would be a statement. Megan had found her strength, and it was time to show the world. Megan was in front of the hotel mirror, adjusting her navy blue dress for the 3rd time. 10 months after arriving in this city, a broken woman, she was unrecognizable. She had lost 40 pounds, going from 196 to 156 pounds. Her face was thinner, her eyes were shining, her body completely transformed. Even her posture was different, upright, confident. Nervous? Leo asked, straightening his black tie. No, I'm anxious as hell. What's the difference? Megan smiled at her reflection. Nervous is when you're afraid of what's going to happen. Anxious is when you can't wait. She had lost 40 pounds in 10 months. She went from a size 16 to a size 8. But the most impressive change was in her face. More defined features, a more confident gaze, a glow that wasn't there before. Remember the plan? We arrive as last-minute guests. You introduce me as your personal trainer boyfriend, and I lay low until the right moment to reveal myself. And when is that moment? Megan grabbed her purse and checked its contents. Phone, lipstick, wallet, and the flash drive with the information Julia had sent. When I feel like it's time. They had rehearsed it several times. Leo knew Megan well enough to know she wouldn't make a scene. She was too smart for that. Are you sure you want to do this? I have to. It's not revenge, Leo. It's closure. What if they recognize you right away? Even better. It'll be impossible for them to pretend they didn't see me. During the 2-hour drive, Megan grew quieter. Leo could tell she was mentally preparing herself. What are you thinking about? About how different it was the last time I drove this road. What do you mean? The last time I was leaving in tears, broken with no future. Now I'm coming back as a completely new person. When they arrived in town, Megan felt a tightness in her chest. It was strange to be back. The same streets, the same houses, the same shops. But she felt like a tourist visiting someone else's past. How do you feel? Like everything has shrunk? Or like you've grown? Yeah, I think that's it. They stopped at the most expensive hotel in town. Megan wanted that if anyone saw her, they would know she was doing well for herself. Good afternoon. Reservation under the name Megan Clark. The receptionist checked the system. Found it. Master suite for 2 nights. Any luggage? Just these 2 small bags. In the room, Megan stood at the window, looking at the town below. From here, I can see the church where my wedding was supposed to be. And how do you feel, seeing it? Like it's just any church in any town. Leo hugged her from behind. There's still time to back out. I don't want to back out. I really want to do this. They got all dressed up. Megan chose a dress that highlighted her new waist, shoes that made her taller, and makeup that brought out her eyes. Her hair was longer, with blonde highlights framing her face. Wow, you look gorgeous. You too. We make a good-looking couple. It was true. Leo in a dark suit, a sharp haircut, a confident posture, they had that natural elegance of people who take care of themselves. On the way to the church, Megan started recognizing the places. The bakery where she used to buy bread every day, the corner drugstore, the bus stop where she waited to go to work. Everything's exactly the same. Except you. Except me. When they arrived at St. Joseph's Church, Megan took a deep breath. It was the same one where she was supposed to have married Ethan 10 months ago. Ready? More than ready. There were about 20 people at the entrance. Megan didn't recognize anyone at first, but she knew that would change quickly. Remember, we're Leo Martinez and Megan Thompson from Riverside. You're a fitness influencer. I'm a personal trainer. We know the bride from work. Got it. A young man with a clipboard was checking names at the entrance. Good afternoon. Leo Martinez and Megan Thompson. The guy scanned the entire list, furrowing his brow. I don't see you on here. Megan gave her most charming smile. Isabella must have forgotten to add us. We're friends of hers from work. Do you want me to call her to confirm? Oh, that's not necessary. It must have been a mistake. You can go in. It worked exactly as Megan had predicted. There's always some mix-up with the guest list at a wedding. Inside the church, Megan felt her heart start to race. It was exactly the same wooden pews, the same altar, the same stained glass windows. Where do you want to sit? In the back. I want to watch before I'm watched. They sat in the last pew. Megan put on her sunglasses and started to scope out who was arriving. She recognized a few uncles, distant cousins, neighbors, people who 10 months ago were part of her life and who now seemed like complete strangers. There, she whispered to Leo. Where? 3rd row. My parents. David and Susan were sitting on the bride's side of the family. Her father was in the same old suit. It must have been the only one he owned. Her mother wore a dress that looked new, but Megan noticed it was very plain, a far cry from what she used to wear. They looked more older and plainer. Megan watched her parents for a few minutes. It was bizarre to feel so little seeing them there. 10 months ago, they were the most important people in her life. Now they were just acquaintances. Wow, who is that gorgeous couple in the back? Megan overheard the comment coming from a few rows ahead. 2 women were discreetly looking at them. They must be friends of the groom. What an elegant couple. Megan smiled to herself. Everything was going according to plan. Leo, she whispered, what is it? Ethan just walked in. She discreetly pointed toward the door. Ethan was there, but he looked completely different from how she remembered. Thinner, looking tired, in a suit that seemed too big for him. Wow, he really does look different. He's smaller. It's like he shrank. Ethan walked to the front pews and sat down alone. Megan noticed a few people looking at him awkwardly. He didn't come with anyone? Apparently not. That's weird. At my wedding, he was surrounded by friends. 15 minutes later, the music started. Isabella appeared at the entrance, escorted by her father. Megan felt a strange knot in her stomach, but it wasn't nerves. It was more like when you rewatch a movie you loved as a kid and realize it's not that special after all. Isabella looked pretty, but not stunning. The dress was simple, the hairstyle basic, the makeup too understated for a bride. She looks really different too. What do you mean? More average. I used to think she was a goddess. Now I see she's just a normal person. The groom was waiting at the altar. An average guy, a little overweight, looking nervous. During the ceremony, Megan watched everything with a strange sense of detachment. It was like watching a movie about other people's lives. They don't seem very in love, Leo commented quietly. Looks more like a marriage of convenience. When the priest asked if anyone objected, Megan saw all eyes automatically turn to Ethan. He just lowered his head. Interesting. He still causes embarrassment to this day. After the ceremony, the guests went to the hall next to the church. Megan and Leo waited a moment before getting up. Phase 2. Let's do this. In the hall, Megan began to mingle with the guests. Several people looked at her with curiosity, trying to figure out who this elegant woman they didn't recognize was. The first approach came from a woman in her 60s. "Excuse me, dear, which family are you friends with?" "Isabella's," Megan replied with a sweet smile. "We work together." "Oh, how interesting. Where are you from?" "Oakwood. I work as a digital influencer, and my boyfriend owns gyms." The woman was impressed. "A digital influencer? How modern. How many followers do you have?" 25,000. "My goodness, and you're so young to be so successful." "Thank you. We work very hard." "And tell me something. Don't you have a familiar face? I feel like I've seen you somewhere before." Megan smiled. "Everyone tells me that. I guess I just have one of those faces." But the conversation continued for a few more minutes. The woman clearly had no idea who Megan was, but she was fascinated by her. "Leo," Megan whispered as they walked away, "look who's over there." Across the room, Susan Clark was in a small group of women. Megan could overhear snippets of the conversation. Such a difficult situation for the family. Over a year with no word. Must be too ashamed to come back. Megan approached slowly. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear." "Were you talking about someone who disappeared?" Susan Clark looked at Megan without the slightest hint of recognition. "Oh, yes, my oldest daughter. She went through an embarrassing situation and ended up leaving town." "Wow, that's so sad. And you haven't heard from her?" "Not a word. It's been over a year." "What kind of situation was it?" Susan Clark lowered her voice. "She was left at the altar by her fiancé, who fell in love with her sister." The other women looked on with pity. "Oh, that's horrible," Megan said. "And how did the family handle it?" "We tried to support both our daughters. We couldn't choose sides." Megan nearly choked. "Support both of them?" "I understand. And the daughter who ended up with her former brother-in-law, how does she feel?" "Isabella suffered a lot too. It wasn't her fault she fell in love." Megan looked at Leo, who was struggling to hide his indignation. Right. "And do you think your older daughter is doing okay?" "I hope so," Susan sighed. "I hope she's found someone who accepts her for who she is." Megan smiled. "I'm sure she has." As they walked away, Leo shook his head. "Unbelievable. Your mother really thinks she did nothing wrong. It's easier to rewrite history than to admit they were cruel." Megan kept mingling, gathering information. Every conversation confirmed what Julia had told her. The family was struggling, Ethan was in a tough situation, and Isabella had lost her standing. "You know what's most interesting?" Megan remarked as they got a soda. What? Everyone here seems smaller than I remembered, like they've shrunk. Or you grew up? Exactly. That's when Megan saw Ethan approaching the bar. Alone, looking melancholic. Now, this is going to be interesting. Ethan ordered a beer and leaned against the counter, looking out at the party, a bit lost. Megan positioned herself next to him. Nice party, isn't it? Ethan looked at her, and Megan saw the exact moment he recognized her. His eyes widened, the beer almost slipping from his hand. Me? Megan? Hi, Ethan. My God. Megan, you look completely different. Thank you. I couldn't believe it when I saw you walk in. I thought I was dreaming. Megan kept her cool. And how are you? Me? I'm good. It was obvious he wasn't. The loose-fitting suit, the haggard face, the dull eyes. That's good. And how's work? Ethan hesitated. I'm kind of between jobs at the moment, but I have a few things lined up. Nice. Leo Martinez came over and put his hand on Megan's waist. Honey, aren't you going to introduce me? Ethan looked at Leo Martinez as if he'd only just realized Megan Clark was with someone. Ethan, this is Leo, my boyfriend. Leo, this is Ethan. Nice to meet you. Leo extended his hand. Ethan shook it awkwardly. Leo is a personal trainer and an entrepreneur, Megan explained. He owns 3 gyms. Oh, cool. Ethan glanced at Leo's physique, then at Megan, clearly making comparisons. How long have you two been together? 10 months, Megan replied. We met right after I moved. You moved? I moved. I decided to start over somewhere new. Ethan lowered his eyes. Megan, about that day. Our wedding. I wanted to tell you that, Ethan, that was a long time ago. It's water under the bridge. But I know I hurt you and... Ethan, Megan interrupted gently, you did me a favor. What do you mean? If you hadn't broken up with me, I never would have discovered what I'm capable of. Ethan looked confused. You forced me out of my comfort zone and made me a better person. Megan, look where I am now. I have a career I love, an amazing boyfriend, a life I never imagined. Ethan was visibly uncomfortable. And you? How did things go with Isabella? Ethan grimaced. We didn't work out. That's a shame. You two seem so in love. Yeah, things changed. What happened? Ethan looked around to make sure no one was listening. She wasn't who I thought she was. When the problems started, she left me. What problems? Financial, mostly. I lost my job, got into debt, and she just disappeared. Wow. I found out she was only with me for the status. When that was gone, Ethan took a sip of his beer. You know what's worse? I look at you now and see what an idiot I was. Why? You were always the right one, Megan. I just couldn't see it. Leo shifted uncomfortably. Ethan, stop it. Everything in its own time. It's true. Look at you. You're beautiful, successful, happy. And here I am, in this situation. Megan felt a mix of pity and satisfaction. Ethan, want some advice? Sure. Stop looking at the past. Focus on the future. Easy for you to say when things are going so well for you. You think it was easy for me? Have you forgotten what I was like that day? Ethan lowered his head. I haven't forgotten. It was horrible. So you know I had to rebuild everything from scratch. If I could do it, you can too. Ethan looked at her with a mix of gratitude and regret. Megan, you were always a better person than I deserved. Ethan, it's true, and I'm so sorry. I really am. Megan saw tears in his eyes. It's okay. Really? Can I ask you something? Go ahead. Do you forgive me? Megan looked at the man who, a year ago, had destroyed her life in front of hundreds of people, and she felt only pity. I forgive you. He sighed in relief. Thank you. But now I need to go congratulate the bride. As Megan and Leo walked away, Ethan stood at the bar watching them. "How do you feel?" "Strange. I didn't feel anger or satisfaction. Just pity. He regrets it." "He does, but not because he hurt me. Because he lost his chance to be with me. What's the difference? One is remorse, the other is self-interest." They walked through the hall until they found Isabella near the cake table, talking with some friends. Now comes the interesting part. Isabella was laughing at something when Megan approached. "Isabella, congratulations on the wedding." Isabella turned and Megan saw the exact moment of recognition. Her expression changed completely, from joy to total shock. "Me? Megan? Hey sis, how are you?" Isabella's friends looked at each other, sensing the tension. I'm good. Wow, you look so different." "Thanks. You look beautiful too. The dress is perfect." Isabella was clearly uncomfortable. "Girls," she said to her friends, "can you give us a minute?" Her friends stepped away, but stayed nearby, curious. "Megan, I didn't know you were coming. I wasn't, actually. But I decided at the last minute that it would be nice to see you get married." "How did you find out?" "Small town, you know, people talk." Isabella looked at Leo. "And this is Leo, my boyfriend." "Oh." Megan noticed Isabella making the same assessment as Ethan, comparing Leo to what she remembered of Megan's ex-boyfriends. "Where are you guys living now?" "We're in Bridgeport. I'm a social media influencer, and Leo owns a few gyms." "A social media influencer?" "I have 25,000 followers on Instagram." "Wow, that's cool." "What about you? How are things?" "Good, I got married today," Isabella laughed awkwardly. "I saw and work." "I'm working at a retail store, but it's temporary." "I see." An awkward silence fell. "Megan, about that situation with Ethan." "What situation?" "You know, the wedding, everything that happened." "Oh, that. Everything's fine." "Really?" "It is. Actually, I want to thank you." "Thank me?" "If you hadn't gotten with Ethan, I never would have met Leo." Isabella glanced at Leo again. "Yeah, he seems nice. He's very nice, and he treats me the way I've always deserved to be treated." The jab landed. Isabella understood perfectly. "Megan, I never wanted to hurt you." "I know. You were just following your heart, right?" "Yeah." "So, how was it with Ethan? Did it work out?" Isabella hesitated. "Not really. We were just too different." "I can imagine. Did you break up a while ago?" "About 4 months ago." "And you two still talk?" "Only when we have to." Megan looked over at Ethan, sitting alone at a table in the corner. "He looks kind of sad." "Yeah. Things haven't been easy for him." "That's a shame." Isabella looked at Megan with a strange expression. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Why are you here? For real?" Megan smiled. "I came to see my sister get married. Why else would I be here?" "I don't know. I thought maybe you came too." "For what? To get revenge?" Isabella blushed. "That's not it. Isabella, I don't need to get revenge on anyone. My life is great." "Okay, but since you brought it up, can I tell you something?" "Go ahead. You guys did me a favor. I was complacent, insecure, dependent. You forced me to become independent." Isabella didn't know what to say. "And you know what else? I'm happier now than I ever was with Ethan." "Good for you." "It is, and I hope you'll be happy too." Megan looked at Isabella's new husband. "He seems like a good person." "He is. A lot different from Ethan. Very different." "Well, I'll let you get back to your party. Congratulations again." "Thank you." As they walked away, Isabella stood there, watching them with a confused look on her face. "She was thrown off," Leo commented. "She was expecting anger, shouting, drama. She wasn't expecting cold politeness. And that bothers her more. Much more. It shows she really doesn't matter." Megan glanced around the room one more time. She had spoken to the two people who had hurt her the most, and she didn't feel anger or satisfaction, just a strange sense of peace. You know what? What? There's still one conversation I need to have. Megan looked toward her parents. The most important one of all. Megan watched her parents from a distance for a few minutes before approaching. Susan and David were at a table with other couples, probably catching up. "You know what impresses me?" she said to Leo. "What?" "How small they seem. I used to see my parents as these huge, intimidating figures. Now I see they're just ordinary people." "You're the one who grew up?" "Yeah, I think that's it." Megan took a deep breath and walked to the table. "Excuse me," she said as she approached. "Are you the bride's parents?" Susan and David looked at her, not recognizing her. "Yes, we are," Susan replied politely. "And you are?" "Megan Thompson and Leo Davis. We're friends of Isabella's." David gestured for them to sit. "It's nice to meet you. Where are you from?" "Riverside." Megan was carefully watching the parents' expressions. Susan was being friendly, but there was a weariness about her. David looked older, with more grey hair and wrinkles she didn't remember. "And how do you know our Isabella?" "From her work," Megan lied smoothly. "Oh, from the store. That's nice." Megan noticed the difference in his tone. Before, when Isabella worked at Better Places, her parents spoke with pride. Now it was just a statement of fact. "And tell me," Susan continued, "do you think our Isabella looks pretty today?" "Very pretty. She's always been a beautiful girl." "She was always our most vain daughter," David commented. "Even as a little girl, she was concerned with her appearance." "Do you have other daughters?" Megan's heart began to race. This was it. Susan and David exchanged a strange look. "We did," Susan said quietly. "An older daughter, but she isn't part of the family anymore." "Oh, did you have a falling out?" "Not exactly. She went through a difficult situation and disappeared." Megan forced a look of interest. "Wow, that's such a sad situation. Do you mind talking about it?" David sighed. "Our older daughter was left at the altar by her fiancé, who fell in love with her sister. My God, that's horrible. It was very embarrassing, for everyone," Susan added. "And how did you deal with that?" "We tried to be fair to both daughters," David explained. "We couldn't choose sides." Megan felt anger starting to swell in her chest. But one was betrayed and the other was the betrayer, wasn't she? "It wasn't quite like that," Susan said defensively. "Things are more complicated." "How can they be complicated?" Leo gently touched Megan's arm, reminding her to stay calm. "Look," Susan continued, "Megan was always a more complicated girl. Insecure, dependent. Isabella was always more confident, more independent. And does that justify what happened? It doesn't justify it, but it explains it." Megan took a deep breath to keep from exploding. "And do you know how she is now?" "We have no idea," David said. "She completely disappeared, not even a phone call." "And did you try to look for her?" "How? We don't even know where she went." "Do you think she's okay?" "I hope so," Susan sighed. "I hope she's found someone who's compatible with her." "Compatible how?" "Someone who accepts her for who she is." Megan felt like she'd been slapped. Accepts her for who she is? And if she showed up here today, what would you say to her? Susan thought for a moment. That we miss her, but that she needs to understand that family is more important than a grudge. A grudge? Yes, she needs to forgive Isabella and move on with her life. Megan looked at her parents, the people who should have been her safe harbor, and felt an absolute clarity about who they really were. "Can I tell you guys something?" "Of course, dear." Megan slowly took off her sunglasses. "I'm Megan." The silence that followed was deafening. Susan turned pale, David's eyes widened, and he opened his mouth, unable to speak. "Me, Megan." "Hi, Mom." Hi, Dad. Susan brought a hand to her chest as if she were having a heart attack. Oh my God. Megan, you look completely different. I am, in every way. David looked from Megan to Leo, trying to process the situation. Megan, honey, we didn't know you were... That I was what? Alive? Okay? Successful? That's not it. Then what is it, Dad? Susan had tears in her eyes. Megan, we missed you. Did you really? So much. Funny, because you kicked me out of the house on the worst day of my life. Megan, we didn't kick you out. You didn't. Then what do you call it? David tried to explain. Honey, the situation was very complicated. We thought it would be better for you to have some time. Time for what? To process that my fiancé cheated on me with my sister, or to process that my family chose her side. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. Megan stood up from her chair. But you know what? I want to thank you. Thank us. If you hadn't abandoned me when I needed you most, I never would have discovered what I'm capable of. Susan was crying now. Megan, forgive us. I forgive you. But that doesn't change anything. What do you mean it doesn't change anything? Megan looked at her parents with a serenity she didn't know she possessed. I forgive, but I don't forget, and I'm not coming back. Megan, I've built a new life, with people who truly love me. She looked at Leo. People who support me through the hard times, who don't abandon me. David tried to stand up. Honey, let's talk about this. There's nothing to talk about, Dad. I came here for closure. What closure? The chapter where I thought I needed your approval to be happy. Megan grabbed her purse. Now, if you'll excuse us, my boyfriend and I are leaving. Megan, wait. No. I waited 10 months for a phone call from you. Now it's your turn to wait. Megan started to walk away, but she turned back one last time. Oh, and Mom? What is it, honey? That complicated and insecure daughter of yours? She has 30,000 followers on Instagram, makes $5,000 a month, and she's happy. Susan was sobbing. And you know what the best part is? What? I did it all without having to steal anyone's boyfriend. Megan walked out of the hall hand in hand with Leo, leaving her parents sitting at the table in total shock. In the parking lot, Megan stopped and breathed in the night air. How do you feel? Free. Free from what? From everything that tied me to this place, to these people. Leo hugged her. You were incredible in there. Thank you. Are you ready to go? Megan glanced one last time at the hall, where her sister's wedding was taking place. Through the window, she could see people dancing, talking, having fun. A life that was no longer hers. More than ready. They got in the car. Megan adjusted the rearview mirror and looked at herself one last time. The woman she saw there had nothing to do with the one who had left that town 10 months ago. Where to now? Home. Back to Riverwood? No, Leo. Home is where you are. He smiled and took her hand. Then let's go home. They drove out of town slowly. Megan didn't look in the rearview mirror once. The past was behind her, exactly where it belonged. Megan and Leo had only been in the car for 10 minutes when her phone started to ring. It was a familiar number. It's Julia. Answer it. Hello? Megan, did you really go to the wedding? I did. I just left. So brave. How was it? Megan looked at Leo. It was revealing. Tell me. Everyone here is dying to know. What people? A few friends who found out. Everyone wanted to know if you were going to show up. Megan frowned. Julia, how many people know about me? I just mentioned it to a few close friends. What people? Ashley, Tiffany, Jessica. Megan froze. They were all the ones who had abandoned her after the failed wedding. You spread the word that I was coming back? Not exactly. I just said you were doing well, that you became an influencer. Megan hung up, irritated. She told half the world. So? Now everyone knows I'm back. As if on cue, the phone rang again. Unknown number. I'm not answering. But the calls didn't stop, one after another. Megan, look at Instagram, Leo said, scrolling on his phone. What is it? Someone posted a picture of you at the wedding. Megan grabbed his phone. A picture of her and Leo walking into the church with the caption, "Guys, look who showed up at Isabella's wedding." How many likes? 200 and climbing fast. The phone rang again. This time Megan answered. Hello? Megan, it's Ashley. Wow, what a transformation. The same Ashley who said she couldn't be seen with Megan. Hi, you look absolutely gorgeous. And who's the hot boyfriend? Thanks. We have to get together. I miss our friendship. Megan almost laughed. Our friendship? Of course. You know I was always rooting for you, right? Right. I'm sorry I didn't call sooner. I didn't know if you wanted to talk. I see. How about we grab coffee? I want to hear all about your new life. Megan looked at Leo, who was shaking his head. Ashley, thanks, but that's not necessary. What do you mean? I don't need to revisit the past. Megan, don't be like that. We've always been friends. Always? Interesting, because I remember you saying you couldn't be seen with me. Silence. Megan, I wish you all the best, but our friendship ended when you abandoned me. Megan hung up. Serves her right, Leo said. And this is just the beginning. During the 2-hour drive back, her phone didn't stop buzzing. Ex-friends, co-workers, distant acquaintances, everyone wanting to rekindle the friendship. Megan turned off her phone. I can't take it anymore. How do you feel? Disgusted. It's amazing how opportunistic people are. Now that you're doing well, everyone wants to be your friend. Exactly. But it's too late for that. Back home, Megan went straight to her computer. What are you going to do? Post about today. Are you sure? I am. It's time to tell my side of the story. Megan opened Instagram and started writing. Today, I went back to my hometown after 10 months. I went to the wedding of the person who cheated on me with my ex-fiancé. You know what I felt? Nothing. She kept typing. 10 months ago, I was a broken woman with no self-esteem, dependent on others. Today, I'm an entrepreneur, an influencer, the girlfriend of an incredible man, and happy. She posted a picture of her and Leo Martinez in the car. The best revenge isn't destroying the one who hurt you. It's becoming so happy that they become irrelevant. In half an hour, the post had 500 likes and dozens of comments. Wow, what an inspiration! You're an example for everyone. Tell us more details. Megan smiled. Now this is more like it. Now I control what they say about me. The landline rang. Megan hesitated but answered. Hello? Megan, it's me, your mum. Megan tensed up. It was the first time in 10 months she had heard Susan's voice. Hi, Mum. Honey, I saw your post. You did? Julia showed me. I didn't know you were an influencer. Now you know. Can we talk? Megan looked at Leo. About what? About yesterday. About all these months. Mum, I said everything I had to say yesterday. Please, your father and I have been a mess since yesterday. You're a mess? Very. We didn't sleep all night. Megan felt a pang of satisfaction. Why are you a mess? Because we saw how we treated you, how unfair we were. Now you see it? Megan, don't be like that. We want to fix this. Fix it how? Come over. Let's talk as a family. Megan almost laughed. Family? What family? Megan, you kicked me out of the family, remember? It wasn't like that. Yes, it was, Mom. At the worst moment of my life, Susan started to cry. We know we were wrong, but you're our daughter. I'm only your daughter when it's convenient. It's not like that. Yes, it is. When I was destroyed, you chose Isabella. Now that you see I'm doing well, you want me back. Please, can I ask you a question? You can. If I wasn't an influencer, if I didn't have a handsome boyfriend, if I didn't have money, would you have reached out to me? Silence. That answers my question. That's not it. That's exactly it. You're just in it for yourselves. Honey, Mom, listen carefully. I forgive you. You forgive us. I do, but forgiving isn't forgetting. Megan, and it doesn't mean going back. What do you mean? That I built a new family with people who truly love me. But we love you. You love the successful Megan. You abandoned the broken one. Susan was sobbing. Are we never going to see each other again? Megan thought for a moment. If you've really changed, if you truly understand what you did, then maybe one day. How do we prove it? First, you're going to apologize publicly. Publicly? You humiliated me in front of everyone. You're going to apologize in front of everyone. Megan. Second, you're going to sort out your finances without counting on me. What do you mean? I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to solve the problems you created. We're not asking for money. Not yet. Silence. Third, you're going to accept that I have a new life. What life? My boyfriend, my job, my real friends. And family? Your family is Isabella. Megan, that's it, Mom. If you accept these conditions, maybe we can talk in the future. And if we don't, then you'll still be without an older daughter, just like before. Megan hung up. Wow, Leo said. That was harsh. It was fair. They need to understand that actions have consequences. Do you think they'll accept? I don't know. And I don't care. Really? Really. If they accept, great. If not, my life goes on just the same. Megan went back to her computer. Now I'm going to answer the interview requests that came in. Which one are you going to choose? Several. It's time to tell my full story. A week later, Megan was in the studio of the most famous relationship podcast in the country. 40,000 people were watching live. Megan, what was it like going back to your sister's wedding? The host asked. It was liberating. I went back to get some closure. And the reaction from people. Total shock. No one expected the transformation. Do you feel vindicated? Megan thought about the question. No. Revenge would be destroying their lives. I just rebuilt mine. What's the difference? Revenge ties you to the past. Rebuilding frees you for the future. The comments exploded. What a woman! I'm crying! She's right. The interview lasted an hour. Megan told them everything, being left at the altar, her family's rejection, the depression, her transformation with Leo. What advice would you give to women in similar situations? That the end of a relationship isn't the end of your life. It's the beginning of a new one. And for families who reject their daughters, that unconditional love can't have conditions. When it was over, Megan's Instagram had gained 10,000 new followers, reaching 40,000. You've become an inspiration, Leo said. It's surreal. How do you feel? Fulfilled. I feel like I've found my purpose. What purpose? Helping other women see their own worth. That night, Megan received hundreds of messages. Your story made me end a toxic relationship. You inspired me to go back to the gym. Because of you, I cut off my abusive family. You saved me. Leo, look at this. Megan showed him the messages. You're changing lives. It's unbelievable. So what now? Megan thought for a moment. I want to create something bigger. What do you mean? A project to help women who have gone through rejection. What kind of project? Like a support center? With a therapist, career counseling, physical fitness. Megan, that's incredible. Would you be in? Of course, I'd handle the fitness side. Perfect. Megan grabbed a notebook and started writing. What are you doing? Planning the Second Chance Center. Like your brand. Exactly. To give a second chance to those who lost their first one. They spent weeks planning, location, staff, funding, partnerships. You know this could take months to get off the ground, right? Leo said. I know, but it's worth it. You went from almost killing yourself to wanting to save other people. Life takes strange turns. Megan posted about the project on Instagram. Hey everyone, after all your messages, I've decided to create the Second Chance Center, a place for women to rebuild their lives after trauma. The post went viral. Donations poured in, volunteers offered to help, and companies wanted to partner up. Megan, Leo said, looking at his phone. Your mom commented. What? Megan opened Instagram. Susan had written, Honey, your father and I are so proud. We want to publicly apologize for not supporting you. You're an inspiration. Megan stared at the comment. How do you feel? Leo asked. Surprised. They actually get it. Are you going to reply? I am. Megan typed, Thanks, Mom. Forgiveness is the first step to healing. 2 weeks later, Susan called again. Megan, can I see you? What for? To talk for real this time. Megan hesitated. Okay, but here in Oakwood. All right. The next day, Susan arrived by bus. Megan met her at the Greyhound station. Hi, Mom. Hi, sweetie. They went to get coffee at a diner near Megan's place. How are you? Susan asked. Good. Really good. I can see that. You're different. In what way? More confident, stronger. It took a while, but I got there. Susan took a deep breath. Megan, I came to truly apologize. Okay. Not just for what happened at the wedding, for everything, for your entire life. Megan was surprised. What do you mean? I always treated you and Isabella differently, and that was wrong. Why did you do that? I don't know. Maybe because Isabella was more like me when I was young, more outgoing. And me, you were more like your father, more introspective. And that was a bad thing? It wasn't bad, but I didn't know how to handle it. Megan felt something shift in her chest. Mom, why are you only telling me this now? Because I only understood now. Seeing you yesterday, seeing what you've become, what have I become? An incredible woman. Independent, strong, generous. Megan felt her eyes well up. And I realized that woman has always existed. I was just the one who couldn't see it. Mom! Megan, do you forgive me, truly? Megan looked at her mother. For the first time, she saw real sincerity in her eyes. I forgive you. And can we try again? We can, but it's going to be different. What do you mean? I'm not that little girl who needed your approval anymore. I know. If you want to be a part of my life, you have to accept who I am now. I accept. And accept my choices. I accept. And accept that my priority is my new family. Susan hesitated. Your new family. Leo. And who knows, in the future, our kids. I understand. Can you handle that? Susan thought for a moment. I'll learn. They talked for 2 hours. It wasn't a dramatic reunion, but it was real. And Isabella? Megan asked. She wants to talk to you. Did the wedding work out? Not really. She's learning that life isn't all about appearances. I feel sorry for her. She made a lot of mistakes, Megan. But she's trying to change. If she wants to talk, she can reach out to me. And Ethan. Megan made a face. What about him? He's in a bad place, unemployed, drowning in debt, living with his mom. That's a shame. He wanted to ask for your forgiveness. Mom, I've already forgiven everyone, but forgiving doesn't mean taking him back. I know. I have a good life now, with people who are good for me. I can see that. When Susan left, Megan felt strange. It wasn't complete happiness, but it was peace. How did it go? Leo asked. Different than I expected. Better or worse? More real? Are you going to see each other again? Maybe, but there's no rush. Are you okay? Megan smiled. Everything's great. 6 months later, Megan was at the grand opening of the Second Chance Center. The place was packed. Journalists, business owners, politicians, and more than 100 women interested in the project. "Megan," the reporter asked, "how does it feel to be opening this center?" "Emotional. A year and a half ago, I almost took my own life. Today, I'm helping others rebuild theirs." "What makes the center different?" "We take a holistic approach. Psychologists, career counseling, physical education, digital literacy training." "Is it all free?" "Everything. Funded by donations and partnerships." Leo was organizing the physical activities. "And your boyfriend's role?" "Leo handles the physical fitness and body image aspects. He knows how a physical transformation helps the mental one." During the ceremony, Megan saw familiar faces. Julia was there, looking proud, some former colleagues who had become true friends, and in the back discreetly was Susan. Megan waved. Her mother waved back, emotional. After the ceremony, Susan approached her. "Can I talk to you?" "Of course. I'm so proud." "Thank you. And I'm so sorry for everything." "I know. And like I said, I've forgiven you. Can we try to be a family again?" Megan looked at her mother, older, more humble, more sincere. "We can try, slowly. Slowly is good. And Isabella, she's learning. The marriage didn't work out. They separated last month." "I'm sorry to hear that. She wanted to apologize to you. When she's ready, she can reach out, but it has to be her own choice." "I understand." Susan hesitated. "And Ethan, what about him?" "He's in a really bad place. He lost everything, has no prospects." Megan felt pity, but not regret. "It's sad, but you reap what you sow. He wanted to ask for your forgiveness." "Mom, I've forgiven everyone. But forgiving doesn't mean going back." "I know. I have a new life now, with people who truly love me." Megan looked over at Leo, who was talking with the beneficiaries. "And this life makes me happy. I can see that. You're glowing." "I feel complete." They talked a little longer, nothing deep, just a mother and daughter trying to rebuild their relationship. "Can I give you a hug?" Susan asked. Megan hesitated, then opened her arms. The hug was brief but sincere. "Thank you for giving me a second chance," Susan whispered. "Everyone deserves a second chance." When her mother left, Leo approached. "How did it go?" "Good. Weird, but good. Do you think you two will work things out?" "Maybe. But if we don't, that's okay." "Why?" "Because I don't need her approval to be happy anymore." They watched the activity at the center, women talking, laughing, supporting each other. "Megan, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Are you happy?" Megan looked around. The center thriving, women being helped, a fulfilling career, a boyfriend who loved her. "I am. Very. More than you would have been if you'd married Ethan?" Megan laughed. "Infinitely more." "Why?" "Because the happiness I have today is one I built myself. It doesn't depend on anyone else." Leo took her hand. "Can I tell you something? Go ahead. I love you, just the way you are, and I'm proud of the woman you've become." "I love you too." They kissed right there, in the middle of the crowded square. "And now?" Leo asked. "What's the next dream?" Megan smiled. "Getting married. To you. The way I've always dreamed." "Really?" "Really. But this time, it'll be different." "How?" "This time, it'll be for love, not out of neediness." "When?" "Whenever you want." Leo laughed. "How about next year?" "Perfect. At the church where you didn't get married." "No, in a new church, for a new story." "With what guests?" "With the people who really matter." "Will your family be invited?" Megan thought. "If they want to come, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too." "And Ethan?" "Ethan is part of the past. My future is you." One of the beneficiaries from the center approached them. "Megan, can I talk to you?" "Of course, Tiffany. I wanted to thank you. This place saved my life." What do you mean? I was just like you a year ago. My husband cheated on me. My family rejected me. I thought about killing myself. Megan felt a chill. And then I saw your interview. I thought, if she could do it, I can too. And did you? I did. I'm working, living on my own, happy. I'm so happy for you. Megan, you saved my life, and many others here. As Tiffany walked away, Megan got emotional. See, Leo said, your pain became your purpose. It's unbelievable, and it's just the beginning. Megan looked around the center. Women of all ages, all with stories of overcoming adversity. You know what? What? I don't regret anything I went through. Not even being left at the altar? Not even that. If I hadn't gone through that, I never would have gotten here. And you never would have met me. Exactly. So Ethan did you a favor. Megan laughed. The biggest favor of my life. 1 year later, Megan was standing in front of the mirror, wearing a wedding dress. But this time was different. She wasn't nervous. She was radiant. Ready? Asked Julia, who had become her maid of honor. More than ready. How do you feel? Whole. The church was packed, but they weren't the same people from 18 months ago. They were women from the center, co-workers, true friends. Susan was in the front row. David was beside her, both of them older, more humble but present. Isabella was there too, in the back, discreet. She had separated from her husband and was rebuilding her life. They didn't talk much, but they respected each other. Ethan wasn't there, and Megan didn't even think about him. Ready? Her father asked. Megan had asked him to walk her down the aisle, not because she needed to, but because she wanted to give their relationship a chance. Let's go. They walked down the aisle. Megan saw smiling faces, people who truly loved her. Leo was at the altar, handsome in a black suit, smiling from ear to ear. Wow, what a handsome man you found, David whispered. I didn't find him, Dad. I earned him. When they reached the altar, David kissed his daughter's forehead. Be happy, my daughter. I will be. The ceremony was simple, but emotional. They wrote their own vows. Megan, Leo said into the microphone, you taught me that love isn't about finding someone to complete you. It's about finding someone who accepts you completely. Megan was moved. Leo, you saved me from myself. You taught me that I deserve to be loved exactly as I am. When the priest asked if anyone objected, everyone laughed. This time, there were no ex-fiancés to interrupt. I now pronounce you husband and wife. The kiss was long, emotional, and celebrated by the entire church. At the reception, Megan mingled with the guests. Every person there had a special story with her. Megan, said one of the first beneficiaries of the center, thank you for everything. Thank you for trusting me. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. When I first came to the center, I didn't believe it was possible to be happy again. You proved it was. And how are you today? Married, working, with a baby on the way. Megan got emotional. How beautiful. All of this because you showed me that life can start over. During the party, Megan received a text on her phone. It was from an unknown number. Megan, it's Ethan. I wanted to congratulate you on the wedding, and to thank you. She showed it to Leo. Are you going to reply? I am. Megan typed, thank you, Ethan. I wish you all the best. Ethan replied, you taught me that sometimes losing someone is the best thing that can happen. Megan smiled and put her phone away. How do you feel? Leo asked. At peace, completely at peace. Regret anything? Nothing. Every mistake brought me here. So what's next? Now we live happily ever after. You believe that? I do, but not in the happily ever after from fairy tales. Which one then? In the forever we build every day. Leo smiled. I like that answer. Leo, what is it? Thank you. For what? For showing me that real love exists. Megan, You're the one who showed me that. They danced for the first time as husband and wife. The song was Restart by the same singer who was playing the day they met. Remember this song? Megan asked. How could I forget? It was playing the day I saved a princess. You didn't save anyone. You found a warrior disguised as a princess. That's true. And what a warrior! They looked around the reception. 200 people celebrating their love. Women who had been transformed by the center, true friends, family, who had learned to love unconditionally. You know what's the most incredible part? Megan said. What? 2 years ago I almost killed myself because I thought my life was over. And today I know it was just beginning. What changed? I learned that you don't need anyone else to be happy. But choosing to share that happiness with someone special makes everything better. I love you, wife. I love you, husband. The party continued into the early hours. When the last guests had left, Megan and Leo were left alone in the hall. Tired? He asked. Exhausted and happy. Ready for the honeymoon? Ready for the rest of our lives. They left the reception hall hand in hand. The car was decorated with cans and ribbons, just like tradition dictates. Where are we going again? Megan asked. Paris. You've always dreamed of going. Thank you for making my dreams come true. Thank you for letting me be a part of them. They got in the car. Megan took off her shoes and sighed in relief. You know what's funny? What? 18 months ago, I left a church crying, humiliated, destroyed. And today, I left a church radiant, loved, whole. Same Megan? No, a completely new Megan. Better? Infinitely better. Leo started the car. Ready for the next adventure, Mrs. Santos? Megan smiled. Santos. She had adopted the last name symbolically when she became an influencer. Now it was official. More than ready, Mr. Santos. They drove off into the early morning. Megan looked in the rearview mirror and watched the church where she got married fade into the distance. This time, she wasn't running from the past. She was heading toward the future, and for the first time in her life, that future was exactly what she wanted. Did you like this story? Do you think Megan was right to forgive but not forget? Do you think Ethan and Isabella got what they deserved? Let me know in the comments. Until the next story.